And I'm live. Hi. I hope the stream is okay and the sound is okay. So if you join, let me know. So my plan is to paint a 3D printed landscape model. I'm gonna start in a minute. I've prepared the landscape a little bit, printed it out and ran a sandpaper over the surface just to take away some edges and some blobs from the print, but don't do any heavy sanding. It's just a light sanding. So this is the model. It's a mountain coastline area in the northwest part of Iceland called Strandir. There are several fjords here and mountains and some area, and it's a very low number of people that live here. It's only few people, like 25 people in this area, I think. But it's an amazing place to visit in the summertime. And even in winter, the road is closed for some weeks or months sometimes because of snow. The mail and such is delivered by boat to this area. So this is the area I'm gonna paint in this stream. So I'm gonna switch off to the close-up camera. Here I have the area. It's printed in Filamentum PLA Extrafill Crystal Clear. This is the filament I used. It's a pretty good filament. I'm really happy with the Filamentum PLAs. So this is what I used. You can see from the lines the infill shows through the surface. So it's strange looking before it's painted, but hopefully when I'm done I'll get a better view of the landscape. It's difficult to see the landscape when it's printed in clear PLA like this, but you can somewhat see the mountains with this view here. It's not very it's a rather big area, so the mountains aren't high on the model. The mountains are several hundred meters high though, so they're quite good mountains. I'm just clipping off if there are any like strands of filaments standing out of the model that will catch on the soft brushes. I go over the model and try to chip it off, so there's less damage to the brush. Usually I don't sand them much, I just run over it a little bit, so it's not much sanding. But here in this area, this is seawater, and there's some landscape in the bottom of the sea that might show through when I have done the painting. But I'm gonna blend the colors a little bit. I normally start with black and yellow, black and white, and I'm using Panduro acrylic gloss, and it's a black and white color, and I go over the whole area with these two colors just to make a base to paint on, and then I paint on the colors. And it depends a little bit on the landscape or the vegetation and the type of landscape I'm doing. If I do a light coat or a dark coat, if there's a lot of vegetation, I tend to use more of the black color, and if it's a more rocky area, it's lighter. I really don't have to go over the water area or the sea with this color. It's just for the landscape itself, or the land part of the landscape. And normally what I do when I I'm painting like this, I have an aerial photo of the area on a screen in front of me, just to get some reference on how the landscape looks in vegetation and such, and especially if there's like the shoreline that is difficult to see on a 3D model. I use aerial photo or a map to get a good reference of where the beach or coastline is. And if it, I've done a live stream like this before at one time, but I have very many recordings of me painting like this and playing it back in like a 3 or 5 times speed. So it's like a time lapse of the paint process, but I want to do it in a live stream. So this area here is all sea water. I don't need to cover that as much. But now I have the base layer of paint, and what I do next is to paint in some greens and browns. Near the coast there are some green areas, but most of the mountains are just rock and mud. So let me know if you are watching the stream, if the sound is okay and everything is okay. Now I've got some basic greens in. I tend to do brown colors and brown on the yellow in the mountain area. And especially if there is geothermal activity in the area, I tend to use more yellow and some reds also. Try not to mess up too much with the colors. But now I tend to blend in the brown from the mountaintops down to the area where there's greenery. By that I blend the colors in and get a good gradient of the colors from the mountains up down to the valleys. Usually there's not very clear line of vegetation versus rock. It's blending in. For the lower areas of the mountains, I also put in a little bit of yellow to get more blending of colors with the green. The green and yellow blend in a good way. And I always blend the colors just on the 3D model. I usually don't blend them before I put them on. So might not be the best way, but that's how I do it. I usually try to work from the mountaintops down to the lower areas to blend the colors in that way, and then I go back with the green to highlight some more green areas, and then I go back from the lower areas up to the mountain. So I'll just trying to get a natural transition between the greenery and the mountains, rocks. And the people that live here are mostly farmers, and there's also a small fisherman's village with a few people going out with their small boats. It's mostly just farmland, and normally the farmers in this area have sheep. Time to dance. Yeah, hi Lightspeed. No, I'm not gonna dance. Sorry. I'm not very quick on my feet. Thanks for joining in though. And now I'm putting the brown, I'm gonna put in a little bit of red. And I'll do that also from the mountaintops. It gives the mountains a little bit more depth. It gives them some contrast. I don't really have a very good room to dance. A very limited space. I'm gonna use that for an excuse. Yeah, hi Sean. Did you start? Yeah, I planned this stream with like about half an hour and set it as a scheduled stream. So yeah, but I noticed there are quite a number of people streaming also. So it's difficult to find a time in a day where nobody is streaming. Yeah, the YouTube notifications, they are just not working. It's terrible system. Now I'm gonna, yeah, so no dancing. You won't get me dancing. It's not a dancing channel. It's not my thing. Yeah, I was thinking the same with I was gonna paint this like I normally do and do a time lapse, but then I just decided to do a live stream. It was just as good to do a live stream. Yeah, I think I would lose my subscriber base if I would try to start dancing. Yeah, hi Rover. Yeah, I could have the cat to dance with the catnip. That's true. They're all sleeping now. Yeah, thank you, Sean, for tuning in. See you. Now I got the base colors. I'm gonna lighten them up a little bit. I think this area here is a little bit too dark, so I'm gonna put some white over it. No, I won't go there. So now there's a little bit more light in this area, and what I tend to do is go over the mountain tops, just the touch of the tops with the black to give it even more contrast. And then for the areas on top of the mountains I add a little bit of white to get like some snow effect. Now the landscape part is mostly done, and I'm going to paint in the coastline. I'm going to use a pencil for that. And I'm going to start with dark blue, and I will adjust with lighter blue and white to get some contrast in the sea area. And now I'm trying to follow a map of the area to see where the coastline is. In some places in this area the coast is not very high up from the sea level, so I really have to have a map or an image to try to have the coastline in a similar position as it actually is. So this one takes up a little bit more time to use a brush than those things. Don't know what they're called. Sigga.
Siggi, hann upptekinn.
My son was calling me out. So this will be quite time consuming part. Best to be watched by a time lapse, I guess. There's no really any way to do this faster. It's just takes time. So now I put in the coastline. I'm going to use this brush to get the whole area covered. Putting in black where the sea is going to be a little bit deeper on the shoreline. And then again some white closer to the beach area. This will give the water area or seal a little bit more depth than having it just single color. All the shorelines, or almost every shoreline in Iceland, has black sand. There's no like normal beach sand you would see, like brown sand. It's almost everywhere a black sand. So again, I'm tracing the shorelines, getting a little bit lighter color. But now I'm trying to not blend it in as much, so it's like waves are breaking on the shoreline. That gives it a little bit of life to have some waves breaking on the shoreline. I'm trying to have it in a way that the waves are all coming from the same direction throughout the model. And here in this area there's a small island, so I'm trying to put in some wave patterns around it, so it will indicate there's something happening. So I think that's about it for this landscape. It's called area Strandir, and this is Norðurfjörður, this area here, and this is Reykjafjörður and Veiðileysa, this one. So it's quite number of good names. In this area there's a small harbor with like a store and some services, and then there are several farms in this area, and here's a small town with a few houses. So there's like 25 people living in this area, but in the summertime it's very popular to go in this area to visit. It's a really beautiful area, and it's very calm and good area to visit, and I really like to go with my family in this area. So and I can see the landscape a little bit better, or the mountains. It was really difficult to see when it was just clear plastic, but now the landscape is more vibrant, and you can see the 3D landscape a lot better. So this was good fun. It's gonna take a while to dry, and then I will sign it, and what I do is to write on the back of it what's the area. My plan is to print out and paint quite a number of paintings like this, and bring to Murph. So at Murph next year I will bring paintings over that I want to give away. So if you are planning to attend Murph next year, then hopefully I will be able to make it there also, and then you'll have a chance to see the landscapes in person. I brought over a lot of landscapes to Earth this year and gave away, and people are really happy to see the landscapes. I'm just taking away, there were some residues of the brushes, but it dries fairly quickly. Maybe in 15 minutes it's completely dry. But you can see how, with better lighting. So this was the purpose of this stream, to do this paint job, and hopefully you enjoyed watching. It's a slow process to do those paintings. I can't really rush it through. The only way to rush it through is to do a time lapse and show it in a video. But it's a good fun for me. I really enjoy doing those paintings. It's a good relaxing time. It's normal, something I've never done before I started 3D printing, to paint. I never painted on canvas, but I find this good fun, so I like to do this, and I find it amazing that people like my paintings. So that's awesome. Yeah, but I think this will be it for this video. It's gonna take some time to dry out, and then I'll just sign the painting. There's nothing more to it and to just wait for it to dry. It's maybe not a very good YouTube material to just watch paint dry. But I thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the stream. It's good fun to have you join in and leave comments. It's always fun to interact with the audience. So for now, I thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video or stream. So cheers.